Be recorded. Good evening, folks. As you can see, we seem to be having some technical problems. Alex has apparently been turned into a panda. I told him he got the wrong message from watching the South Park Pandaverse episode, but I guess alternate realities are real. I expect plenty of panda jokes in the chat. Gary's not here yet, so we'll have to wait for some of those, unfortunately. I shall have to struggle on manfully and gamely on my own. Because pandas, as we all know, can't speak, and if they do speak, they only speak Chinese, and I don't speak Chinese. Ni hai! So that sounded rather Germanic, didn't it? Good evening, Wendy, Miranda, Archie, Colin, don't know who you are, must be a new member. Kelly, Wendy, Sadako, and Darren, and Jim as well. This is a lot easier when you don't have to scramble all the way down here, you see. Yes, we'll all have to grin. We'll have to grin and bear it, won't we? Oh, the jokes. What? If you want, look, I don't speak sign language. You've only got one hand moving. That doesn't help. I'm suspecting the word bamboo might be in there somewhere. Yes, and you thought South Park had done all the pandering jokes. Oh, this is seriously confusing. Well, it was going to be a colour show, but it looks like it's going to be black and white. And I'm running out of jokes for this one. Evening, folks. Hopefully at some point we may actually get some semblance of sanity back onto this stream. But then that will probably be the first time for anything. We hope the new time's okay for everyone. I think we've now caught up with our friends across the pond. We had that one strange week where everything was an hour closer, I think. I know it confused me a couple of times on streams. Sanity's... It is indeed. I should know. I'm a reenactor. I don't do sanity. I don't do grown up. I don't do either of those things. Hopefully, as I said, I think we are back now, aren't we? We're back on same time zones, or well, back on the same time difference. So hopefully the half an hour later will make things a little bit easier for people. Time to settle and get in from work or whatever. Hopefully it won't, he says, the idea of occurring to him suddenly. It won't actually end up with interrupting people who are watching during the mid-afternoon too much. Hope it doesn't affect people watching on lunch breaks and the rest of it.
Oh, very funny. You changed the coast of the door.
Oh.
You're not hosting that show, you bloody panda. Open the door,
I see.
please.
It looks like we might have a hostage rescue
open
situation.
The door. I buy you all the bamboo shoots in the world. Just please open the door. I'm going to wring your sodding stuffed neck if you don't open the door. Right.
Have you locked him out, or have you locked him in a cupboard?
My bloody shoulder. Right, that's it. I'm coming in a different way.
Let's all hide so Alex thinks we've all gone home. I'm not sure how you can tell, but it looks his face is thoroughly expressionless. I expect we'll hear tinkling of glass or something soon enough. Uh-oh, it's turning again. So I had a glassy-eyed expression there. You haven't seen the state of my teeth, Sadako. I don't do bite. Oh, it's either Alex or it's a ghost. Miranda, everybody here knows that sofas are the best way to hide from a Dalek or any other Doctor Who monster. Unfortunately, this is a Pandaverse, not a Doctor Who monster, so that might not help. I think that Alex must hopefully work his way in somehow, because I can see movement in there.
I want the bloody word with you, you tight sod! Switching the camera off. Sorry, Colin. Yeah, you. How dare you change the code on the sod in your... I had to climb through a bloody window, you tight sod. No, don't give me that. Don't you dare. No. Get out. Right,
you know what? I'm actually not sure. I'm not sure I want to know what Alex is getting up to with that panda at the moment.
Yeah, go on. Get out.
I'm kind of glad he turned the camera off. It might be a bit unpleasant.
What do you mean you're better than me, you tight sod? Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Can I? Oh, okay, right. So there was some way to put up a poll in the chat. I can work how to put up a poll in the chat. Alex or the panda? That's just pandering to the boost squad, isn't it?
Right, that's it.
It's pandering to the furry mob.
I'm going to beat the crap out of you. Come here. Don't you... Right, the knackers.
Excellent. Oh, panda. Oh, no. Hold on. Okay, and the Oscar for overacting goes to...
I am going to murder that bloody... Do you know what? I am going to tie that panda to the front of a dump truck one of these days and see how it feels. Colin Bennett. I'm going to switch the camera off and mute myself for a minute and get myself sorted.
Good, Ray. I mean, we don't want to see the blood. No, don't. It wasn't Alex all along. It was Agatha, didn't you? Did you not know that? It was Agatha. Everything was Agatha all along. God, I can't remember. Can't believe I actually remember that, and I have to admit to having watched the last couple of episodes of WandaVision. Okay, so now I think it's is it on? Oh, hold on. Oh, I think I have to be signed in as someone else the other way to put up a poll in chat. Unfortunately, what a shame. Should have put up a poll in chat, shouldn't I? I really should. Question is, does he realise that pandas are an endangered species? And they have the World Wildlife Fund on it for beating up their mascot.
endangered species. I'm going to kill that bloody little thing. But I expect a brick through my window tonight because he's run out the front door and it's gone. And if he comes back and throws a brick through my window, it's war. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody out in YouTube land.
All right, and that's the end of our stream for the night.
Good night. Oh, God, sorry about that, Colin. I didn't know Stuffed Panda could change a code to a door. I was only putting the rubbish out.
Well, there you go then.
Bloody smart ass. Oh, God. I'll definitely get a brick through my window tonight. I'm going to go nuts. Anyway, how is everybody out there in YouTube land?
You have to smash me. Chucking mashed potato at windows so dark out, at least it'll wipe off easier.
So what are they saying? Could reverse a bad. Could be a badger. They tend to chuck mashed potato out the window. Yeah, I miss that badger. I really do. Who knows the song?
What song?
Bodger and Badger.
That sounds rather like a furry.
Oh, for fuck's sake. You don't remember anything, do you?
I remember lots of things.
Right, okay. Everybody out there in chat, who remembers Bodger and Badger? A popular BBC TV series.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said Roger the Badger. That was even worse.
Oh, God. Well, I'll wait. The show starts. Start show 6, eh? But anyhow, so you said hello to everybody in the chat.
Yes.
So Darku remembers it. Beg pardon. Roger the Badger. No, that's. I know. I love mashed potato, peely garlic. So we're talking about food tonight. Oh God. Anyway, so got any interesting information or topics you'd like to come out with tonight, Colin?
Not really.
Not really.
Well, not that you let me talk about because you don't want to be. You don't want to. You don't want to. There's a couple of things you told me you. Everybody else is going to be covering. So.
Well, the thing is, yes, we know what month it is. We know, we know what's going on because there's an anniversary. Really? Is there an anniversary? Oh, God. I keep getting weird emails. Right. I want to bring something up to you this evening.
We'll go to the toilet. We don't want to see you do it on camera.
Funny. Was Roger a bad or muffin the... Good one, Colin.
See, you don't know who Muffin the Mule was, do you?
I know who Muffin the Mule is.
Wow.
I have watched like a history, of I'm going to pick puppet shows and all this and that because I had to do my research.
Oh, it'd be quite...
Right, well, okay, Colin. Earlier, if anyone noticed what I posted on Twitter or X or whatever they bloody call it now these days because I can't tell anymore. I found an interesting story coming from Colombia, and if I go and sod and find it, I can bring it up. Bloody hell, is the Northern Lights come down that far at the moment?
Well, there was a thing on there saying about, I saw something earlier on about will it be visible from how far south it would be visible from, but it needs to be a clear sky as well.
Well, okay. Right. I found this on the Sun Online earlier. I'll just bring it up for a second and present it. Holy Grail shipwrecked holding 16 billion of treasure to be hauled to the surface 300 years after the Brits sank it.
Oh, good. We sank it. It belongs to us.
So a shipwreck with 16 billions worth of treasure is set to be recovered from the sea 300 years after it was sunk during the battle with British squadron. Dubbed the Holy Grail shipwrecks, the legendary San Jose galleon is finally due to be taken out of the Caribbean Sea. And it's just close to Colombia. And it says here, the pack ship was the jewel of the Spanish Navy during the war with the Spanish of Succession before being blown up during a confrontation with the British slayers in 1708. The actual location of the wreck is still a mystery, but it's believed to be off the coast of, I can't pronounce that, but no, it's off the coast of India. The country's government are the only
Cartagena.
Thank you. The country's government are the only people who know the actual spot on the sea floor.
I was going to say, if it's an unknown location, how are they going to bring it up? But obviously, that answers that one.
You know how much you got to like dredge? Well, look around the seabed. Well, they know where it is because look, you got pictures.
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, if they know where it is,
yeah.
They...
That's a good one, Miranda. On the side, Drake was here.
Yes.
So yeah, it's there. Right. So if anyone likes to, donate any money to FFSI, so me and Colin can bugger off to Colombia and try and get to it before they do, please, we'll be putting up our PayPal details after the show. What do you think, Colin?
I don't think I want to go to near Colombia, thank you.
No, I'm saying, what do you think about, after all this 300 years of, it being down there and now they finally raise it? Is it me or the Colombia government or skin?
I'm surprised they were still bringing that much treasure back in the 1700s.
Yeah. Well, still
yeah, absolutely right, man. Don't care for what mini sub you used to do it.
Oh no, we're cracking those jokes, are we? Well, anyone got James Cameron's phone number? You know, it's the thing about mini submersibles.
Probably not deep enough for him.
Well, he did have to go down so deep to bring up a certain line once, wasn't it?
Well, he went down to it. He spent the Titanic, and I think the Titanic's in the middle of the North Atlantic.
Yeah, we know the Titanic's in the middle of the North Atlantic, but he went somewhere else to bring something else up.
Did you know that until recently,
yes,
more people have set foot on the surface of the moon than on the bottom of the sea?
Yes, we know.
Living, obviously.
Yeah, we know about that. And the reason why I do set, because the thing is, there's a big difference between depth and being in zero gravity.
Yeah.
Am I right there, kids?
Well, they did actually do a lot of zero-G training in water tanks, but yeah.
Yeah. Because the thing is, being deep down, it's pressure. You don't get...
It's external pressure rather than internal pressure. There's a lot more external pressure
Yeah. But where else goes on? But anyway, so Colin, I don't want to press the buttons about your, history lessons. But the question to you is, how well do you know about, the battle of the Spanish and the British?
Which ones? They by the 1700s. You're talking Napoleon. That's did they say the War of the Spanish Succession?
I thought you meant the
I think that was
Inquisition.
later. Because oddly enough, I've been talking about those things on Lotus Eaters recently. I've not been. Some of them I've watched and some of them I haven't. But if that was 1700s, that's that the Georges? Where did we go? Yeah, it's way past. That's way past my main area of interest. I say that's the early 18th century. So that's what, a couple of hundred years after Columbus discovered the Caribbean.
Yeah, and we all know what happened in the Caribbean.
Yeah, it's 1700. That's way after we were fighting the Spaniards. Way after the Armada and all the rest of that.
Yeah. What are we in? I don't know, sometime around one of those weird numbers. It's. I think Miranda knows about it. The Anglo-Spanish War.
Well, yeah, the Anglo, we did that. I'm trying to think when we last fought this back. I mean, we had, because some of the wars you knew there wasn't. So you're starting off on about 50, 60 years away from 30 years war, 7 years war, and all the rest of it, which is what we wanted the Americans to pay for. We wanted the Americans to pay for the last of the Mohicans, and they didn't want to. That's why they decided they didn't want to drink tea anymore. 100%, but this is way before that.
Ah.
I mean, that's assumed that the day they gave it. Did you say what did you say it was 1702, 1703?
What, the galleon?
Yeah.
1709, I think.
1709.
Hold on, let me bring that back up. It was sank in 1708. It was a year off.
War of Spanish Succession, I think, was one of those really big, weird ones where you got, well, basically who was going to take the Spanish throne. But 1702 apparently. So,
well, judging by how much stuff is that down there and that, yeah, is it going to be sent to a museum?
well, this day and age, of course, it probably should all be repatriated to the natives from who dug it up when it was stolen.
Right, so back to the Spanish then.
No. This is something that this is something that a risk of getting into one of those really always amuses me. When you talk about, particularly an American thing, which we simply because of differences, you talk about Hispanic Americans. Well, hold a minute. So if you're Hispanic, okay, so does that mean you're descended from from European colonialists. Because if you're Spanish American, doesn't that mean you're descending from the Spanish invaders of South America? So doesn't that mean Hispanic Americans are basically Southern Europeans? So does that mean that Rachel Zegler actually comes from Madrid?
Good point.
Sorry, I'm applying logic to this again. I should know better than that.
Well, I don't know what else I can say really, because I thought it'd be a fascinating topic for us to discuss.
Well, it was one of the. I mean, back in the 18th, 19th century, there were several. It was, in some ways, it was close to being a world war.
Yeah.
Because it spread all the way out there. I mean, I'm not sure how much of that spread in the colonies, because I don't know what the state of the. I mean, Salem witch trials were the 1690s, I think. Because history buffs dropped a video earlier on this week about the Crucible, the movie of the play The Crucible, and how close that was to the real events at Salem. So that was the 1690s, I think. So you've got that going on in North America. Not sure what's gone in Canada. You've got one of the big Europe-wide conflicts was the Spanish. One of these things is why we get dragged in alliances and all the rest of it.
We're going to talk about Doctor Who, are we, in the chat?
Well,
everyone else is talking about it. I'm just waiting for it to get over and done with.
Well, I've said on a couple of places, I'm kind of almost glad that if they are going to start renumbering, because if it goes as far south as a lot of people seem to think it may, we can just say, fine, it's a new series, forget it. We can just completely divorce it from Doctor Who. I mean, we've got the specials, but if Shooty starts at season 1, then we can say, okay, it's a different thing. We can safely sort of say, okay, it's not Doctor Who, it's Doctor New Who or whatever. So,
okay. So, how many of you have been watching the classics on iPlayer? Because I've been watching quite a few.
I haven't actually.
Oh well, I've been watching some of them, and it's quite interesting, really, catching up. You know,
I've got that. One of these days I might get around to watching those.
Yes.
Tales from the TARDIS or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, I watched one of them. That was good.
But I've seen varying reviews of some of those as well about what they are and what the intention was.
Which was?
Yeah. Well, you know, some saying that they're quite good, and some saying they basically there's just retrospectives and how can they be canon and all this sort of thing. So,
well, frankly, it's just going down memory lane, which I see.
Well, something might, but the thing I'm going to be interested to see. I said is the thing that they did for. No, I didn't see any of the last. I stopped watching Dr. Nasty after Spyfall Part 2. So yep. I know that some of the classic Doctors are bit, but what my question will be, how are they going to deal with the fact that from my understanding of it, the idea is that where you've got living doctors, you've got a companion gets together with their doctor, and reminisce over the events, which is fine, great in our perspective. But my question is always going to be, okay, fine. So how do you deal in universe with the fact that that doctor is now 40 years older than when they regenerated? Because if you're going to say that that's the doctor, then you've got to explain why.
Yeah.
There are several ways you can do it, but you've got to either de-age the actor, which I don't know they could do it on a BBC budget, or you've got to explain why. I think they did it. Was it that special thing that they did unofficially for the 50th one they did that wasn't the official one, the one with Peter Davidson and the like, the Five-ish Doctors, where they did something where they had actually had some sort of time anomaly that meant that the Doctor had aged and would go back to being his normal self.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, I said, I mean, as long as you can explain it, that's fine. So I mean, I've got a couple. I've watched some. So I think isn't one of them just between companions? So that's not going to be a problem.
Yes,
because obviously the companions, as long as the companions exist in the same time period, or you can find that's okay because obviously companions would have both have aged the same.
Yeah.
So that won't be a problem. But I mean, it's an interesting conceit, an interesting idea. But I mean, I've actually Fraser Hines has written a book on one of his stories, one of his Dalek stories, and what he's done. Apparently, he's actually written it, but from Jamie's point of view. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but yeah, but the idea is obviously it's going to be the same story, but it's Jamie's point of view rather than this First Doctor thing. I'm in two minds about this idea. I mean, if the guy's got the rights, which seems to be the case for whatever the background, if the guy's got the rights to the time is feck. Screw you, Chibnall, you bugging up my main unearthly child. I nearly got that wrong. Screw you, Chibnall. It's up to him to decide what he wants to do with it. And if he doesn't like the way BBC's going and he thinks BBC has done him wrong, I don't know. Don't know what the ins and outs are. It's a shame from the fans' point of view. But my understanding of it is that it's only. I mean, I could be right. This is my understanding of it. I've not been exactly following it up that much. But it's a shame from the fans' point of view. But my understanding is that it's only they've only got problems with showing it on its own, so that it's still available as part of box sets and the like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably should watch that between now and Friday because I'm going to be on the Orange Express soon. I've got something much worse than that. I'm up against the great god Cthulhu. Some mummy. Although no, that would be. I mean, that would be an interesting. Could you imagine if anybody's that familiar with Lovecraft? Could you imagine? I mean, Hinchcliffe and Tom Baker.
Oh yes, that would be good.
But that would have been so perfect for Doctor Who Cthulhu crossover.
Well, I'm just going to grin and bear it, really, with the new series.
I've seen people. I've kind of got a secret hope. You might say that at the risk of bringing back jokes from earlier on, RTD is trying to pander to certain interests in a way that would an old South Park, but is doing that for one thing, but still has enough control on his ego to actually make something that is not going to be full of messaging.
Right. Well, anyway, okay. Well, let's change the subject from Doctor Who and talk about the Pandaverse. And I'm not bringing back the panda because it's legged it out the front door. Did you see it?
Of course I did.
And what did you think?
I think they let. I don't know exactly what they intended. I think the most interesting thing about it is all the kickback.
Yeah.
I mean, you could see for starters, even before it came out, even before it was actually officially came out, you were getting comments from certain media sites about, oh, South Park is back doing it, and it's so tedious, and the sort of people who, had it been the other way round, had they been taking the mickey out of their sacred cows, they'd have been all for it. I think they I must admit, when I saw it, I'd expected something different. I'm not sure what.
Right. Okay.
I think it's simply what I'd heard people say about it had led me to think it was going to do one thing, and it didn't. It did something very different.
Okay.
Watch it, Wendy. Watch the South Park episode.
You'll love it.
I think at the end, I think I would say they gave Kennedy an out. Or at least the Kathleen Kennedy character. A bit of an out.
Yeah.
But then I saw some of the reactions and I thought, no, sod it. And as I've seen a couple of people point out that until then, most people outside of I suppose most people that we might call normies didn't even know who Kathleen Kennedy is. I mean, if you're not in the, there's probably a lot of people in fans who will watch Star Wars movies, who will watch Indiana Jones, who are probably not even aware that Lucasfilm does Indiana Jones, and who don't know who Kathleen Kennedy is or didn't. I think I've watched South Park every time it comes out. I still do like watching South Park. So they've been somewhat Ever since the pandemic, they've been rather erratic in bringing out episodes.
Yes.
You know, sort of season here, season there, then one every couple of 3 months almost it turns into a season. It's a bit
Well, the show should have ended years ago.
oh no, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I mean, I think it's still a great
Yes.
it's still a great platform. It's a great way of doing it.
I think the creators are just trying to kill the show.
I don't think so. I mean, I think there's obviously reasons why, but I mean, you look at it used to be regular series came out, but then
Take care, Miranda. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Oh, Amanda. Yep.
Well,
there's the thing is, I wonder if they've when streaming became a thing as well, more so recently, actual streaming rather than just TV or watch, you know, I think possibly also might have bought into it that they, you know, you change what you watch. There's no such thing now, or there's very little such thing now as appointment TV.
Yeah.
You know, because it's a case of okay, they'll drop it and I can see it anytime I want now because it's always there. Whereas back when you had, even when you had cable, you couldn't necessarily automatically find anything any time of day or night. You know, you could when it was shown, but it wasn't necessarily, you know, you couldn't actually go back and find it. Whereas now anything comes out. So something come out. I mean, I've heard, I've not paid much attention, but then apparently some programs you get a series, and it's not even, they're not even the same length. You know, because they don't have to spread up for adverts and all the rest of it. Apparently, you know, you'll get a series of programs of however many episodes, and they will, you know, they'll all be different lengths.
Right.
You know, because they don't have to fill out the time.
Okay. So, do you want my opinion or
go on? Yeah.
You sure?
Well, you brought the discussion up, mate.
I brought the discussion up, but I was waiting for you to finish.
Go on.
I enjoyed it.
Good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it was cleverly written. You know, as I said on some reviews, they were attacking both sides.
Yes.
Which was brilliantly done.
Yeah.
You know, so I think really it was a neutral episode in a way.
I was watching someone earlier on was saying about it that yes, and the way they put it that at the risk of ruining it for Darren and Wend, the way they put it for why she started doing what she was doing was pushback.
Yeah.
Which is fair, which is absolutely fair. Pushback and pushback. You push back against pushback. But if they hadn't put that sort of stuff that so many people saw what they're doing in it, there wouldn't have been anything to push back against. But yes. Exactly. I mean, you know, I mean, we blindly use phrases like doubling down and tripling down. But if you think you're right, or you're trying to get your point across and people are just decrying it, then, you know, what are you going to do? You know, it takes a very I mean, it takes a very, I think, a very particular type of creative.
Yes.
And I don't mean to be, I've said it a number of times, I don't mean it rudely. I mean, there's a type of mindset that's interested in science fiction. There's a type of mindset that's interested. There's a type of mindset that can sit down and spend weeks and weeks studying rocks. There's another type of mindset that can sit in an office and do what other people find mind-boggling boring all day long.
Yeah.
There's a type of mindset, which is drawn to creativity.
Mm-hmm.
But part of that mindset, I think, is a degree of ego.
Yeah.
Which is why so many actors, producers, and the like seem to other people to have the bigger. I mean, there's that old joke, isn't there? I mean, the Hitchhiker's Guide, if there's anything bigger than my ego, I want it hunted down and shot. I mean, it's I mean, that's I don't go to Douglas Adams like that. So I think it takes a particular type of creative, especially if you're coming from the sort of background that said, "Oh yes, you're right." You know, everything you do is right. You know, you kind of almost to sit back and say, "Okay, a lot of people who have been passionate defenders and fans of this thing that I'm doing are complaining and saying they don't like what I've done to it."
Yeah.
Okay. Your first reaction to that is going to be F them. I'll show them.
Yeah.
Right. Which I think that's a pretty reasonable natural reaction, especially, as I say, if what you're doing has got a good solid boost of ego behind it, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it takes a certain type of perhaps self-awareness, I don't know, to say, okay, well, I thought I was putting this forward. I thought we were doing this right, but maybe they've got a point. So you guys don't find it, don't particularly like it. We didn't mean to be offended, but this is our view of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, occasionally it can happen. You look at the fuss a few years ago with the what was it, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Yes, I know. I remember that because I complained.
Where it comes on, I don't know. I don't think I'd ever played the Sonic game, so I'd know. But where you get the
I'm happy to plug in my Sega.
People, no, but where you get, I mean, in fact, that what they were complaining about, the look. Weren't they?
Yes,
they weren't. That wasn't an identity. But
Colin, can I just say something about Sonic? Right.
Yeah.
Okay. My view of when that trailer comes out, right? I looked at it and go, no, that's not Sonic. That is not what I recognise, growing up. They just created something unbelievable and you just think, no, that's not my Sonic. So they went back to the drawing board and apologised to the fans.
That's what I'm saying. It's exactly they do that. They go back.
Yeah, but the thing is, look what happened, right? Everybody, damned the trailer. And then after that, they done a new trailer. They showed the original Sonic in the proper CG form. And look how much money it made.
Exactly what I'm saying. Yes, exactly. They did it. I mean, they got criticised, as I remember, for pandering to the fans.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That phrase is now ruined, isn't it? But as you say, they made money. You've got, I mean, the other one that comes to mind is before this really any of this sort of thing. And again, it wasn't it was criticism of the show. It wasn't criticism based on character. It was criticism based on the show. It's the last episode of Star Trek Enterprise.
Yes.
Excuse me while I find a bucket. But the thing is, it got a lot of criticism. But what you get is what you would never get now. Is you get you get, I think it was Bun and Braga. Some while later, apologised and said,
Yeah.
Apologised to the fans, said we didn't mean it to be, we meant it as a connection to the two shows, but I'm sorry it didn't go down well. I apologise for not going down well. We got it wrong. A lot of you get a lot of respect for that. Whereas these days you get can you imagine Director X saying that?
No.
Neither can I.
But we're not talking about him, are we?
No, but what I'm saying is that's something they're talking about. Whereas,
see,
the modern version of that is is what South Park were talking about, which everything's swapping around.
Well, how can I put this, Colin? If it gets me hooked, I'm interested, right? I like to go along with a story and go with the flow. I don't, yes, you got that. I think you're right there. They just doubled down. Yeah. It's Kelly's asking which South Park episode. It's called the Pandaverse.
Into the Panda.
Yeah.
Not Into the Pandaverse. It's the latest one that came out about a week ago.
Yeah.
The title is a rip-off of one of the Spider-Man movies I haven't seen. But there were 3 targets they hit in this. Well, 4 targets they hit in it.
Yeah.
Of course, they also hit AI a bit. They also hit all the way through. The kids are complaining about multiverses being shit.
That was classic.
That's great,
Yeah.
About it being such an overly everything is such a.
Easy way out.
Yeah. Well, I've been watching recently a few older Little Platoon, Rowan Coleman, Mauler, about some of the more recent, going as sort of far back for the last few years, of the stuff that a lot of complaints about how bad the storytelling is and this, that, and the other. But rather than watching anything new, I've been watching quite a few of those recently. I think it's true. You've seen this latest thing. They now reckon that all this fuss with there's another. Was it due out next weekend? Is it?
What's that?
The Marvels.
Don't bring that up, please, Colin.
No, what I was going to say was that that's kind of, but backlash to that and other things as well. You now notice that apparently they reckon they're going to bring Robert Downey Jr. back.
If anybody wants to kill me or anything like that, yes, I am looking forward to the Marvels.
I don't know who most of the characters are, and I haven't watched any of the 11 series I need to watch beforehand. But I hadn't watched any of the 11 series I need to watch beforehand. I'm
just trying to keep up what's going on with the whole Marvel thing anyway. But the thing is, the way I see it at the moment with Marvel is that they're just trying to rehash, what they can, because in a way, yes, it ended with Endgame. But the thing is that it's sometimes you just have to keep pushing the boat out. Sometimes.
Yeah, but no. What I'm saying though is that that what the ratings seem apparently they're now in talks with, or they've got to bringing Robert Downey Jr. back, despite the fact they killed Iron Man off at the end of Endgame.
Yes, I know.
And possibly bringing back the Scarlet Witch back. So as you say, multiverses easy out of anything. There's someone pointed out one problem with multiverse-wide threats, all the way back when in Stolen Earth and whatever it was, where Davros plans to destroy all of reality.
Oh yes.
Fine. Okay, no, great. But
The
it's
reality bomb.
yeah, but so that's that.
Right.
The reality,
Get-
the reality bomb
Yeah.
is that is a multiverse setup. Not the same way, but it's the same thing. But the problem with that, the problem with that is what you have to think about is okay, fine. So you're going to say he's going to destroy that in all realities,
Mm-hmm.
and he gets defeated.
Yeah.
But if there were all those realities,
Mm-hmm.
then there's going to be a reality
Yes.
where he wins.
Yeah. Well, because
In which case, that Davros then goes on to wipe out all realities.
Yeah.
You by doing something like that. If you
I
follow
think that was like a MacGuffin in a way.
Oh yes, yes, it was. I mean, the whole thing was, but what I'm saying is that was a perfect example of
They
okay.
had to, because they had to have a great big swan song for series 4.
Oh yeah, no. What I'm saying is it's great, but the point here it's good. But what probably never necessarily occurred to anybody until I thought about it later on. That okay, fine. So we've set that up.
Hey, dead man.
Hey, that man. We've set that up for yeah, true. This is true, Sanako. I mean, he didn't think this. I mean, to be quite honest, it's not necessarily something you would think through until some autistic super fan comes back and think, but well, actually, if you think about it logically, follow it all the way through, you don't necessarily do that when you're writing something. But in a current, I mean, I don't know. I think I know about most of the latest MCU, DCEU movies because I watch reviews now of them. But so I think, yeah, I know something about who the baddies are and the fun of it. But if you come up with you've got a multiverse.
Yeah.
Well, if you can bring in heroes from another multiverse to replace the ones you've killed off in this one.
Yes.
Okay, but that means that all the villains that you defeated exist in another universe. So there's going to be multiverses where they win. It's it brings up a massive, great pile of problems. As long as you say, okay, these multiverses and they can interact, then. But the thing is, it's not actually a new idea.
That's a good one.
Interesting to the dark. I've not heard that one, but
That good. That is good.
Yeah, it's good thought. But then technically there will be a universe where that, however, where I think the multiverse started, I think the concept as a concept and entertainment rather as in a physical, rather than a theoretical physics problem. So highbrow quantum mechanics science and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Which is not what was DC Comics.
Yes. Because how many resets did they have?
Precisely. Marvel didn't. Marvel didn't do resets. Marvel had until they came in with, was it the Ultimates or something, which they set in a completely different. That all of theirs was set in the one universe. They didn't change continuity. DC coming on, they have all the basic, what I think are now called Silver Age heroes.
Yeah, you've got the Golden Age, the Silver Age,
and I'm not sure which is which. I don't know if it's got this.
Yeah, the storyline that involved the Green Lantern.
Yeah. I mean, that's the prime example. There is Green Lantern. There are others as well.
This was good.
Yeah, no, but what's there? But that's the thing. Is the prime example is DC have got this score of characters.
Yes.
The easiest one, or the prime one, I think, to make the most obvious example is Green Lantern. Alan Scott, the original Green Lantern. Never mind the stuff about him now. Alan Scott, the original Green Lantern. is not a member of the Green Lantern Corps. He does not have a power ring from the Guardians of the Galaxy Oa.
Wrong
He
one.
has. Well, no, I'm sure it's
The Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
are
I know,
not.
no, but I'm sure they're called I'm sure that the Green Lantern Corps is run by the Guardians. It's ultimately by the comic. But basically,
check.
but Alan
Anyone
Scott's
who knows
Green
what the
Lantern
name
is
is.
not a science fiction hero.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Scott's Green Lantern is a magic hero. His Green Lantern is a one-off magic device. They come along at some later point. Someone at DC comes up with another idea for the Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, Green Lantern Corps thing, completely incompatible. So someone comes up with an idea saying, okay, well, all these heroes.
So did I, especially the soundtrack.
Yeah, all these heroes, what came into being the Justice Society of America.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Earth 1. The Justice League of America, Wonder Woman, as we know her now, Superman, but specifically Green Lantern Corps, Green Lantern, Hal Jordan.
They're called the Guardians of the Universe.
Oh, okay, close.
Not the Guardians.
That's a different.
That's where you get the confusion.
Yeah, I know they're called Guardians. That's a different universe.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where they've actually, where comics, from which obviously the movies and TV get these ideas, came up with this. They realised they were running into problems, which is why, as you say, I mean, I think the only one of those I've actually read is the Crisis on Infinite Earths, the first Crisis series.
Yeah, I learned more about Crisis on Infinite Earths from my friend and that, and plus also we used to watch the Flash TV series. Still got to watch Arrow from the beginning.
Well, Flash did. I'd not heard of Flashpoint. I mean,
I watched Flashpoint. I was aware of Flashpoint when it came out as a straight to DVD cartoon.
I never caught. I used to read the comics. I used to have another guy. I used to go to a comic shop. It was near me, and I used to get home my regular comics every month, etc., etc. And I'd also got some. I used to, but I've not read comics for a very long time. I've got quite a few of them as PDF, etc. But so I come along with. So I read them, and I come along with Crisis on Infinite Earths, and they start killing off my favourite characters. They killed off the original Supergirl, which annoyed me. Because I quite liked Supergirl as a character from all ways and one. And others they killed off, and then they did something else and killed off Superboy, which really irritated me. But they did this, but they I think they found they got a problem that it was getting too complicated. That's
what happens when you write yourself into a corner.
Yeah. So you got that. Then you've got I was vaguely aware that there had been other crises, but then as you said, I started watching the Arrowverse, and I quite enjoyed them at first. I actually managed to watch all of them except Batwoman. Batwoman I never even bothered with.
I never watched Batwoman at all.
But I watched them up to a point, but you can see. So that's the first time.
Yeah, see,
I'm thinking, okay, so Flashpoint's a great idea. I can see what they've done there. They've spun off into another, and it's about okay. What I don't get, and I don't get, and I didn't get at the time that they rebooted the Star Trek franchise either, is
I quite like that series, really.
I didn't. I was very skeptical about the Star Trek reboot until I saw 2009, And I thought, okay, I see what they've done there. That's nothing like as bad as I thought it might. It's okay. I went downhill from there. But what I'm saying is, like I said, and their idea is great. So you get an event happens. I mean, it's I can't remember. There is a word for it. Is one of the various multiverse theories in physics, where the idea is that every decision you make each possible decision, and each possible decision splits off another universe.
Yes,
which is mind-boggling.
It's like the tree branch.
Yes, exactly. But you imagine on the tree, etc. But the trousers of time is, I think that was practical.
Oh, what?
The trousers of time. It's time splitting. It splits like a pair of trousers. You go down one leg or the other. I think that was Terry Pratchett.
Can I just say something? When you mentioned trousers of time, I end up thinking of Wallace and Gromit, the wrong trousers.
But I mean, I can see that, and I can see that. Okay, so in Star Trek, so we know so Vulcan is destroyed. Chummy, what come on, the bad guy's name was now, whatever it was. Nero, whatever.
Nero.
Whatever it was, he gets pissed about it, tries to do something about it, grabs Spock, goes back into and
he doesn't grab Spock.
Well, I whatever it was, I know Spock gets pulled along.
Do you want to say me to tell the story? Yeah, what I know about it, because I've
no.
seen
What I'm trying to explain is the basic idea. Okay, so an event happens, he comes back, and because he comes back to that point in time, he changes time.
Yes,
fine. I get that. He gets that. So instead of Kirk's mum, I mean, I can't remember, but I'm quite okay. She was coming on. That's great. So instead of being on board the ship and going home, having maternity leave, and Kirk being born in Iowa, his father's killed, and everything changed. Fine, but in that case, what I wanted to know was okay. So why does that mean that Spock is now at the Academy at the same time as Uhura is at the... Were they always there? What's changed? Why this? I genuinely thought, okay, interesting idea. I can get that. But what I don't get, if I'm putting my science, relatively logical, sensible head on, if there is such a thing with this, is why does that affect go backwards? Why does Barry Allen going back to try to save his mother?
Well, if I was a speedster, I would punch Barry in the face before he decides to go back.
But why does, to use the other big one, why does, to use one from the film, why does Barry Allen going back in time, what, 20 years, is it? No, it's not even that, is it?
No.
So I thought he said, what's going back X amount of time in time to save his mum? Why does that mean that feck knows how many thousands of light years away at a different point in time, a different Kryptonian baby or different Kryptonian is sent off to land on Earth? Why does that's what I'm saying is when they're coming into that, they start splitting backwards and forwards and things going. So that's why they come up with when it cracked time. And what does that mean?
I think they got it wrong there.
Yeah, I mean that's what I said. I mean that's what I said. I mean,
don't forget
if I remember
how many reshoots and how many rewrites the Flash go through. Well, there you go. That's why it doesn't really make sense.
No. What I'm saying is that is the storyline for that. But because if I remember, I've actually since read the comic, but if I remember right, when they did it on the Flash TV show, they did subtle little things like, for some reason, for some reason, Diggle and his wife's baby, which had been a boy, was now a girl, or vice versa. Now, okay, so so I could still logic for that. Okay, it's a subtle. He did something, and for some reason, at some point, that baby was conceived at a slightly different time. Okay, can see that. Very minor change, but not sending it back in time 20 years. You know, this sort of thing. Yes, Adako, I've heard of those things. I said, I mean, that's why I said I'm interested. You got okay, so in the timeline that we know, Kirk's father is in Starfleet. Kirk grows up, goes to Starfleet Academy at presumably the normal time, goes on, becomes a captain, possibly because of talent, may well get relatively advanced promotions. But you've now got a Kirk who's, I mean, Kirk would have been, thinking about it, if you think of the original series, Kirk would probably have been maybe close to twice Chekhov's age.
Yeah.
In the Kelvin series, he's not.
No, because he was a drunk in a bar.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying though is they've done these things, but hold on a second. So Kirk is. I don't think they're saying that Kirk is going to Starfleet Academy at the same time as the Kirk has wasted his life, so that he is now. I don't think that Chris Pine's Kirk is the same age. He's supposed to be the same age as William Shatner's Kirk, right? But yet you've got Chekhov as an ensign, as a young ensign, roughly the same age in both universes.
Yeah.
So basically, Chekhov's parents must have had him a lot earlier in the Kelvin. You know, there's some things like this that if you think about it too much, you start thinking, you're going, hold on. You know, there's some odd little things like that. But which is why I think but that's what I said. I mean, I liked the first. I thought that with those caveats and little things here and there, the first Star Trek movie, the 2009 movie, I thought it was okay. It was acceptable. It was good enough. Yeah, I mean, exactly, Sadako. You need to see him. And my biggest bugbear with the 2009 movie, of all of the of all of them, was that, I mean, especially as someone who has read recently quite a lot of military sci-fi, naval military sci-fi, such as the Honor Harrington series, and that's where there's a lot of it is where you've got some of it is about going through academies and the rest of it and coming and the rest of it. You know, my biggest problem with that is, hold on a minute, he hasn't even bloody graduated yet. He's not an end. If I remember right, he was a senior classman, I think, if that. And he ends up as a bloody ship's captain. No.
You're talking about Kirk?
Yeah. Not in any not in any same military in the universe that works. You know, there's a few things that are really struck it out for me.
Yeah, but do you know why he became? Well, actually, he became first officer, really.
Yeah, because enough of the chain of command were wiped out that some cadet who's actually technically not even an ensign. He's not
Ensign.
even actually. He's still a student. He's still a cadet.
Right.
He's,
can I explain it, Colin? Or
yeah, you can. You can. Yeah,
like
I know what the storyline was. I was saying it's something that came
right.
across.
Well, the big scenes I remember right from it is that what happened was they encountered the Narada, right?
Yeah.
What happened is that the transporters were down and everything, right? So Pike says, right, Kirk, you are my first officer. Okay? And he escorts Spock and while he's going off to the shuttle bay. The thing is, Pike gets kidnapped, right, by Nero. Right? Spock is made temporary captain. Right? Kirk's first officer. But due to Spock having an emotional problem because watching his planet get destroyed.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
He ejects Kirk out where he meets Spock's prime.
Oh yeah, I know.
Then they get things back, and then afterwards, due to like saying, Spock needs to reevaluate, he becomes temporary captain. There you go.
Oh no, I know the progress of it.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, he ends up that. I know that when it comes to Into Darkness, he's been kicked back. But at the end of it, no, he should not have remained. He still had not graduated. He should not have. He did not have the qualifications to be a to be a bloody ensign. Chekhov as an ensign. Sudi was a lieutenant or was an ensign?
Why do you say ensign? You can't pronounce ensign properly, can you?
Well, depends how I say ensign. Ensign.
It's ensign.
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 It's one of those words. Actually, probably also depends on what the name of the college is. But an ensign is ensign is the lowest rank of commissioned officer.
Yes.
Right. They've been commissioned. A cadet has not been commissioned. A cadet is, as they make a point of in Starship Troopers, a cadet is actually nothing. That's why when they send the cadets out in Troopers on their mission, they give them a very temporary commission. They get commissioned to come back. But they would be, in fact, in modern military, they'd be midshipmen. Midshipmen, they get promoted. A midshipman is where they what Kirk would have been had he actually finished, had he actually been at that point in his career. But what I'm saying is at the end of it, from a promotional rankage point of view, he should just come back to being a cadet and then become and then he could have been counted and done as midshipman, but he should have been an ensign. He shouldn't have stayed a senior officer and a captain.
Yeah, but that wouldn't work out with the writing of the story as it progressed.
The problem that Abrams had, and it was probably he gave himself, but was built into to be fair, was built into the idea is that he had to end up a film. His film, it was a Star Trek film.
Yes.
It had to end up with Dr. McCoy, Commander Spock, Lieutenant Uhura, and Captain Kirk. It had to end up that way. So he had to find a way to do that.
And they still couldn't find reverse.
Exactly. They still couldn't find reverse. But no, I'm not saying. I mean, even looking back and no, I quite enjoyed it as a film. I say things, and if you think about it, if you think, well, actually, you can see some of the things I had to put in for storytelling, but it's only a movie. We accept that as a storytelling. It's when you then go on and you start advertising. No,
yeah. The thing is,
it was no as bad as Into Darkness.
Yeah, I liked the Star Trek reboot films. Right, I quite enjoyed them. But what did it for me is that I still like them to this day. But the thing is, it felt like they were slowly following along because when it came into Darkness, they destroyed the Enterprise, right? And I thought, Search for Spock,
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, the thing was, what they done, I think, what they were doing is they were remaking the Star Trek movies, which is why Star Trek Into Darkness was Wrath of Khan, but no one knew who the hell Khan was.
No
one would have known who the hell Khan was. McCoy, Kirk, and Spock's reaction when Sherlock Holmes told and says, "My name is Khan Noonien Singh," their reaction should have been, "Who?"
Yeah.
But they had to. But they had to do that. But when Nick Moynihan did it with the Star Wars, they'd got 3 years.
Yeah.
3 entire seasons, plus numerous books of Star Trek itself. They got Next Generation. Next Generation hadn't started yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
All that behind them. Whereas all Star Trek 2009 had got. All right, cheers, Kelly. Have a good journey home.
Take care, Kelly.
Exactly. The worst.
Yeah.
Exactly when he was gone.
Right.
He is a brilliant actor. But the worst of it was the problem they had was they were trying to do that without all that back thing, which is why, as you said, they destroyed the Enterprise because that's what they did in the movies.
I know. But do you know why Into Darkness was the way it was?
No, go on.
Okay. The story goes is that Peter Weller, RoboCop, you know, he, after the incident with Nero, you know, and the Narada, they decided to make Starfleet more military, right?
Yeah.
So they sent ships out to find out what was ever out there, right? And they found Khan. So that's what happened.
Yeah, no, what I'm saying.
Yeah, but the thing is, it is not Wrath of Khan, right? Because they didn't actually follow the basic story. But the thing is, when you got a new universe, you have to change some things.
Oh yeah, of course you do. But the thing was, in that case, why bring back Khan when no one in that universe is going to know who he is?
Because it was nostalgia. That's what it was.
Exactly. That's exactly the point. It was exactly that. They brought back Khan because Khan was popular.
Take care, Wendy. Take care.
Cheers, Wen. I mean, I think if you saying that, you just put me in mind of something. Do you know what you saying that about that Nirvana that it reminds me of? Scene in the Avengers, the first Avengers movie, when they discover all the weaponry.
Yeah.
And they ask Nick Fury, "Why are you doing it?" And he turns to Thor and says, "Because of him." Very similar vibe.
Yeah.
They discovered, Earth had discovered they were hoping. Scrub the Captain Marvel movie, which completely screws over on the whole thing. But I take your point. They discovered this threat and they had to change to meet the threat. Yes. But yeah, what I'm saying is they could have done that, but
Captain Marvel wasn't even thought of back then anyway. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I'm saying that's what was actually. However, that should be completely ignored. But the thing was though that yeah, you're right. But what I'm saying is, yeah, they brought him. But in the storyline, Khan doesn't make any sense because no one known who he was.
Yes.
But they did it. I think like a lot of these movies, I had the same kind of reaction to Starship Troopers, the movie, which I love. Starship Troopers, the movie, I love. I can actually say, but it massively pains me to say it. But to the episodes I actually watched of the atrocious, abysmal Discworld series to watch.
Yeah.
The same for the TV series Foundation.
Be right back, folks.
They were all, I think, for me personally, as I think Sadaka mentioned earlier on, was it? Yeah, it's that they're all on their own merits. They're reasonably good films, TV shows, whatever. The problem was that they are, if they weren't tied to that IP, if the Star Trek into the 2009 movies, the Kelvinverse movies weren't tied to Star Trek. Yeah, exactly. So okay, I could have, but instead we end up with Khan's magic blood, where they've suddenly now got, which means no one needs to ever die again, which will probably be fed to Tribble, or was that the other atrocity? And they can now, they don't need starships because they can now teleport halfway across the galaxy. Apparently, there's so many things that brings into mind if you think it through. But again, on their own, if you change the names of the characters, change the names of the organizations, so it's not Star Trek, as science fiction action movies, they're good. They're not bad. My biggest problem with these ones is the pig and lens flare, because I was watching someone do a review of, was it Rowan Coleman? If you've never seen Rowan J. Coleman, he's really good. He does a lot of long form, short and long form reviews, critiques, etc. Where apparently the idea was supposedly that it was supposed to be, lens flare was supposed to be lights are off screen, shining on screens off screen. But to me, you only get lens flare from one thing. You get lens flare from a lens, which means that your brain tells you are watching that, whatever it is, through a lens. Normally, the idea of, I would suggest, of TV and films, you're effectively there. Yeah. Tell me if I'm being totally nuts about this, but you're there. The idea is that you're kind of looking in on the action, but the idea is you're kind of there. But if you get lens flare, that means that there's a lens between you, it's a camera lens between you, on some level that you're supposed to be watching something that's been pre-recorded. It's like I had discussion came out.
Can I just say something, Colin? You remember that line from South Park, the Pandaverse?
Which one?
The one what the alternative Kathleen Kennedy was coming up with.
What, sticking a chicken, make a game, make it lame?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to change the line a little bit. Stick a lens flare in it and make it bright and pure.
I've got no problem. My point is there that it may. I mean, I was saying to something on
someone else. Stick a lens flare in it.
Yeah, no, I was coming to, when you and I the other day we were doing some writing, we were talking about tenses and settings and the rest of it. I had somewhat clicked in my brain. I was saying on I think it might have been in Blue Bonnet's Discord. I think I something came about why it is that something past participle is why something written in the past tense feels better to most people. If you're reading something, it's a step back meta thing, and I think it's the same with lens flare. It's a step back meta thing. If you're sitting there reading a book, reading Kindle or whatever it is, right? You're reading something. Your brain, at a subconscious level, the back of your brain is going, okay, I'm reading this. Therefore, someone wrote this down. Therefore, it's already happened. If it happened, we say, this happened, this was it. We use the past tense. If you bring it into the present, you're saying it's happening as you're looking at it, which is counterintuitive to the fact that you're reading something. Again, if you're looking through a lens flare, you're immediately aware of the fact, at some corner of your brain is immediately aware of the fact that you are watching something that is being filmed or that has been pre-filmed.
Yep.
You know, it's like it turns into a documentary, if you like. If you're watching a documentary, you know that you're watching a documentary. You know you're watching something that's been filmed. Yeah, it puts part of the brain in a different frame of mind, I think, for actually appreciating something, probably at a level we don't even think about.
I don't know. Anyway, can we start wrapping up?
Oh, we can do. But yes, I think Starco's got a very good point there with Into Darkness. They could have had Colin get away and he could come back again, which would have made him an ongoing. So next time he comes back in, that's when you get the impact of the name. So if you got, how many people would have seen, I genuinely don't know how much of the audience for 2009 had not seen the original series, or possibly even not seen the original movies. Yeah, this is one problem with any of that sort of thing. You've got to, I hate to use the word, but properly, panda is not an inaccurate phrase here. Both to the fans of what you're making or remaking, and also, or cater is perhaps a better word than panda. Panda has connotations. You've got to cater for both audiences.
Yes.
You've got to cater for the audience who knows who these characters are, who knows what the films have gone before and what you're remaking. And you've got to cater for those who've vaguest idea but don't know much about it, if anything at all.
Yeah.
And that's, to be fair, that's probably very difficult balance to maintain.
Yes.
Which is one reason why maybe Hollywood could do is come with a few new things rather than everything being a remake.
Right. What you got coming up, Colin?
Friday, hopefully, I'm going to be possibly ending up on the Orient Express in Cthulhu Land. In fact, I'll be alternating between Cthulhu and Castles and Crusades on Fridays now. So we're literally alternating between the two. If anybody's up and slightly early hours in the morning, our time, our friend there, Dad Man, has just started doing a series on a TV show from the late 70s, early 80s, where the characters, well, the lead actors and actresses were cast at least as much for their appearances or their acting ability. I don't care. I just say two words: Wilma Deering. And I will hopefully be managing to catch. He's doing Buck Rogers 25th Century, and hopefully I'll be catching those ones. Hopefully I'll be in the chat for these. Some of those will stay up that late on the Fridays. I think is the Dad Man. If you saw that.
Buck Rogers, what a classic that was.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's got an interest. He's also did a video which I'm working my way through. Leading up to it, because it's got a really, I mean, the whole Buck Rogers has got a really interesting history.
Yeah.
There was a point when science fiction, back when science fiction was looked down on, it was often called that Buck Rogers stuff, dismissively.
Right. Can I say anything?
Yeah, that's it. I'm not. I think I've really gone on. No, we're going to replace you with the panda next time.
That panda's long gone by now. Oh God! But anyway, yeah, we will be back on Christmas Day or Christmas Day night.
Will we?
Yes, we are. Because we're going to be doing a stream of me hopefully building a Lego set.
Okay.
And hopefully Colin talking about why he's Scrooge.
About what?
You didn't hear that one, did you?
Yeah, I thought you said something about Wayland Scrooge.
No, I said why Colin is Scrooge. Never mind.
I don't know what I'm doing at Christmas yet.
You don't know.
No.
Nobody knows, but it'll probably be me anyway. But anyhow. Yes, hopefully we'll do a stream on Christmas Day night. After everyone's probably watched Doctor Who. And then we've got something to talk about.
Like everyone else will be.
Yeah. But hopefully I'll be building a Lego set live. But I can't say what it is yet. Because I haven't purchased it. Anyhow, Colin, can you hear music?
Not yet. Push up. Now I can.
So we'll be back hopefully on Christmas Day night. And then probably returning February. What do you think, Colin?
February? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, everyone have an enjoyable month, November, and 50 days to Christmas.
And let's all hope none of us are disappointed.
Yes.
Anyway,
it's good night from me.
And it's good night from the panda.
Haha. Funny. Take care, everyone. Good night, and have a great month.
Good night.